Good morning, students. Today we are going to start with the sixth chapter, that is combustion and flame. In this chapter, we are going to see or we are going to study about what is combustion, what are the types of combustions, and what are the conditions necessary for the combustion, and then igneous temperature, how do we control fire, and the types of combustions. All these topics we are going to cover in this video. A flame or not, what does it mean? It means that a substance or some substance burn with a flame whereas some do not. For example, candle burns with a flame whereas coal does not. Dear students, before I tell you about this, I would like to say we use different kinds of fuel for various purposes at home, even in industry and for running automobiles. Now, can you name a few fuels which is used in our homes? Can you name a few fuels which is used in trade and industry? Or what fuels are used for running automobiles? Dear students, please list all these fuels like cow dung, wood, coal, charcoal, petrol, diesel, CNG, that is natural gas, etc. Isn't it? Now you are familiar with the burning of a candle, right? What is the difference between the burning of a candle and the burning of a fuel like coal? Maybe you were able to guess right. Candle burns with a flame whereas coal does not. They do not require they without a flame they do not burns, right? Similarly, you find many other materials burning without a flame. So, let us study the chemical process of burning and the types of flame which produced during this process. Now, what is combustion? A chemical process in which a substance reacts with oxygen to give out heat or light is called combustion. I repeat, a chemical process in which a substance reacts with oxygen to give out heat is called combustion. For the example for this combustion is burning of magnesium ribbon. Now students, you have learned already about this magnesium when burns to form magnesium oxide and produces what? They produces heat and light. We have already performed the similar activity with the piece of charcoal also, right? We hold the piece with a pair of tongs and bring it near the flame of a candle or a burner. What do you observe over there? We find that charcoal burns in air. We know that coal too burns in air, and they produce what? When the coal is burning in the presence of air, what they gives out, what they produce over there? They produce carbon dioxide, heat and light. Okay, so here what is combustion? Combustion is a chemical process in which a substance reacts. A substance is going to react with oxygen to give out heat or light. That is what we called as a combustion. Now, what is combustible substance? Combustible substance means a substance which burn in air to produce heat and light are called combustible substances. Listen carefully, students. Substances which burn in air. What is present in air? All gases, right? So when this substance come in contact with air, that is oxygen, to produce what? They produce heat and light. That is what we called as a combustible substances. Example for this is wood, coal, charcoal, kerosene, petrol, diesel, liquefied petroleum gas, that is LPG, compressed natural gas, that is CNG, etc. These are the examples of combustible substances. Understood? So sometimes light is also given off during what? During combustion, either as a flame or as a glow. Okay, so this combustible substances, they are also called as fuel. The fuel may be solid, liquid or gas. Understood? Now, air is necessary for burning. To burn any substances, what is necessary over here? Air. Because what is present in air? Oxygen. What is present in air? Oxygen is present. And to burn any substances, we require oxygen or to produce heat and light. Understood? We are going to do one activity. In this figure, you can see there are 3 candles. Okay, in figure A, you can see there is a wooden blocks are kept over there, and on in such a way that air can enter that chimney. Okay, and observe what happens to the flame. Here in figure A, you can see that there is a what you say, one wooden block, or you can say few bricks are set over there, and from that air can enter this chimney. Here this is a block, okay, or a bricks. In this, from here the air is entering in this. Suppose this is a chimney. Okay, now observe the flame. Flame is still burning, yes or no? Now you remove this bricks so that the chimney rests on the table. In the second figure, you can see the blocks had been removed from there, and that chimney is resting on this table. Suppose this is your table. Okay, now leaving no space for air to enter here in from the below. No, there is no space to enter any air. Now observe the flame. Okay, next on the third, that is C, you can see there we have covered the top of the chimney with a glass plate. Okay, now again you watch the flame. What is happening over here? Your observations will be in candle A, sorry, okay, in figure A, candle burns over there. Freely it is burning as air enters the chimney from this below. From here the air is able to enter there. Okay, so that's why this candle is burning freely. In figure B, you can see that flame flickers and produces smoke. Okay, they produces smoke as no air enters this chimney. There is no space to enter the air. Okay, here from the below it was able to enter the air into this chimney, but from here there is no space to enter. So what happens here, the flame is uh, flickers, means they suddenly gets stop over there and produces what, smoke. And in figure C, you can see that flame extinguishes as no air is available. When you put when you cover this with the cover the top of the chimney with a glass plate, what you observe over here, here the flame is going to extinguishes as there is no air in this chimney, there is no air is available. Understood? So from this activity, it is clearly shows that air is necessary for combustion. Understood? From this activity, you can clearly see that there is necessary of air for what? For combustions. Understood? Next is fuels. What is fuels over here? The substance that undergoes combustion is said to be combustible, right? And it is also called as fuel, as I told you before, right? This substance that undergoes combustions, and that is what we called as a combustible, means a substance when they are coming in contact with the air to produce what, heat and light, that substance is called as a combustible, and it is also called as a fuel. Fuel exists in three states. Understood? The fuels exist in three states, that is solid, liquid and gaseous. Okay, so let's see first, that is solid fuels. In solid fuels, what are the examples given here? You can see the solid fuels are wood, cow dung cakes, charcoal and this coal. Understood? These are the solid fuels example. They are solid, so they are called as a solid fuels. Okay, then the second one is liquid fuels. What are the examples for the liquid fuels? You can see here the kerosene is given, hydrogen, hydrogen which we use to, this hydrogen from this tank, what is going, hydrogen is there, and that we used to fill in the this car. Okay, then ethanol, then this petrol, this all are the liquid fuels, even the diesel also, right? So these are the examples of liquid fuels. Next, the third one is gaseous fuels. In this you can see LPG. What is LPG? Liquefied, what LPG is? Yes, tell me. LPG is liquefied petroleum gas. CNG, compressed natural gas. Then biogas, coal gas. These are the examples of gaseous fuels. Okay, so the fuels may be solid, liquid and gas. Okay, Then nuclear reactions. In the sun, heat and light, they are going to produced by nuclear reactions. You can see how the sun and sun and heat and even light, they are producing in this way, and they are forming the nuclear reactions. Okay. Then the next topic is igneous temperature. The lowest temperature at which a substance catches fire is called its igneous temperature. What does it mean? It means that the lowest temperature is there at which a substance which is going to catches fire, and that is we called as a igneous temperature. For example, you can see here, you might have heard that when the person or when the clothes of a person catch fire, the person is covered with a blanket to extinguish fire. Yes or no? Does a matchstick burn by itself? How does it burn? You must have heard an experience of burning a piece of paper, right? Does it burns when a burning matchstick is brought near to it? Huh? Burning a piece of paper, does it burn when a burning matchstick is brought near to it? Can you burn a piece of wood by burning a lighted matchstick near to it? Why do you have to use paper or kerosene oil to start fire in wood or coal? Have you heard of forest fires? Do this experience tell you that different substances catch fire at different temperatures? So, the lowest temperature at which a substance catches fire, that is what we called as a igneous temperature. Now, why a matchstick does not catch fire on its own at room temperature? Hmm? What does the matchstick start burning on rubbing it on the other side of the matchbox? Have you uh, thought about that? Hmm? See, you know the history of mastic? The history of the mastic is very old. More than 5,000 years ago, small pieces of pine wood dipped in sulfur were used as matches in ancient Egypt. Okay, so the modern safety match was developed only about 200 years ago. So, a mixture of antimony trisulfide, potassium chlorate, and white phosphorus with some glue and starch was applied on the head of the match made of suitable wood. When struck against a rough surface, white phosphorus got ignited due to the heat of frictions. When you rub any surfaces, it will uh, show the frictions, right? So this started the combustion of the match. However, white phosphorus proved to be dangerous both for the workers involved in the manufacturing of matches and for the users also. So these days, the head of the safety match contains only antimony trisulfide and potassium chlorate. The rubbing surface has a powdered glass and a little red phosphorus, which is much less dangerous than the white phosphorus. When the match is struck against the rubbing surface, some red phosphorus gets converted into white phosphorus. This immediately reacts with potassium chloride in the matchstick head to produce enough heat to ignite antimony trisulfide, and then they start the combustions. Okay, so we find that combustible substance cannot catch fire or burn as long as its temperature is lower than its igneous temperature. Understood? It will not catch fire. Okay, have you ever seen cooking oil catching fire when a frying pan is kept for a long on a burning stove? Hmm? Or kerosene oil or wood do not catch fire on their own at room temperature. Hmm? But if kerosene oil is heated a little, it will catch fire. Yes or no? If kerosene oil is heated a little, it will catch fire. But if wood is heated a little, it would still not catch fire. Does it mean that ignition temperature of kerosene oil is lower than that of wood? Or does it mean that we need to take special care in storing kerosene oil? Hmm? So this is essential for a substance to reach igneous temperature to burn. Understood? Next is inflammable substance. What is inflammable substance? The substance which have very low igneous temperature and can easily catch fire with a flame. Listen carefully. With a flame are called inflammable substance. Means a substance which have very low ignition, means they having a very low igneous temperature, and they can catch fire easily with the flame. Okay, without flame, not with the flame, they are called as a inflammable substances. Inflammable substance example is given here: petrol, alcohol, LPG, that is liquefied petroleum gas. See, the heat supplied to the paper cup or is transferred to a water by conduction. So in the presence of water, I tell you the in details now. See, here if the substance catch fire, right, with a flame, so how do we control that fire, or how can fire be extinguished? Here are the things which we can see here. The fire can be extinguished by removing the combustible substance or the fuel. Remove all the fuels from there. Secondly, cutting off the supply of oxygen. Okay, or reducing the temperature of the fuel below its igneous temperature. Now you have must have heard of fire breaking out in homes, even shops and factories. Yes or no? See, it is very important that all of us know the what do you say, the fireman extinguisher, means the fire by throwing water under pressure, means they have the their duty is to stop those fire by using the two methods. What are they? One is water by throwing water, and the other is what? The fire brigade. What they do? Fire brigade used to pour the water on the fire, or water cools that combustible material so that its temperature is brought below its igneous temperature. Even this prevents the fire from spreading also. Water vapors also surround the combustible material, helping in cutting off the supply of air. Understood? So the fire is extinguished there. Now, there are three essential requirements for producing fire. One is to supply oxygen and heat to raise the temperature. Fire can be controlled by removing one or more of this, right? So the job of a fire extinguisher is to cut off the supply of air or to bring down the temperature of the fuel. Yes or no? So the fuel in most cases cannot be eliminated. For instance, a building catches fire, the whole building is the fuel. Understood? So this is how we can control the fire, by removing the combustible substances or cutting off the supply of oxygen, or by reducing the temperature of the fuel below its igneous temperature. As I told you, fire extinguisher, what they do, they used to pour the water. So water is an excellent extinguisher when it comes to paper wood. For example, in a when we are playing with the paper of a suddenly we use some fires. If we take some what do you say, catch candle, when you bring a candle near to that paper and the candle is already burning over there, when they come in contact with that candle, the paper comes in contact with the candle, it will catch fire. So what we are going to do? Will we call the fire extinguisher? No. At our home only some amount of water will be there, right? So we will apply, or we will put on that paper water so that it cools that combustible substances. So water cools the combustible substance below the ignition temperature so that the combustion is stopped. Water vapors also surround the flame, so the supply of oxygen is cut off. You can see how this fireman extinguishing fire by using water as a extinguisher. Here the fire is there is a accident of what, one vehicle is catching fire over there. So this man is putting or throwing water on this so that it cools down. Next fire extinguisher is carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is also a very effective extinguisher in all the cases, especially involving electrical appliance and oil, as in such cases water cannot be used. You have been seen this in our school itself. Yes or no? You have seen there such type of cylinder is placed near or that staircase. Yes or no? You can see, you have been seen that this cylinder is kept over there. In this, what is present? Carbon dioxide. And that carbon dioxide is also very effective extinguisher to stop the fire. So students, this was about the uh, combustions, and there was two types of combustion. One is combustible substance and the other is non-combustible substance. Okay, now we will learn about the types of combustions in the next video. Till then students, you just go with your textbook, read the textbook carefully. Okay, if you have any doubt you can ask me. Till then, take care, have a nice day. Thank you.